Hello everyone, how you doing? This is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between Howl versus WFZ. I believe it's WFZ. Let me double check that. Yes, it is WFZ. You see Howl spawning as the teal human player on the top left-hand side of the map, quickly doing a militia check to see if his opponent is nearby. He is not. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have WFZ spawning as the sky blue undead. Human versus undead in this 1v1 matchup on Turtle Rock. It won't be full cross spawns, and the lay of the land will dictate how things are battled out here. This Goblin Merchant Shop most likely will get the Ogre Magi pulled into this location here, so that Watcher Ward will be in good position to keep track of the main throughway in between these two bases. Meanwhile, let's take a look. Howl is setting up a scout farm on the far side of the map here, wants to know exactly what his opponent is up to. In comes an Acolyte. He will be able to spot this peasant, but aside from that, he's not going to really know where his opponent has spawned unless he goes further inside. Alright, this peasant down over here is going to start taking a little bit of damage, and I'm actually curious, is the peasant going to fall? It doesn't look like it. The construction of that farm will be completed. The Acolyte only able to give 2 high 10s, slapping down this poor peasant as he is now trying to run for the hills. Back over here, it looks like it will be an Archmage against a Death Knight is my guess here. And we are looking at a pretty standard opening. We're not going to see some crazy ghouls that you would normally see in a Undead versus Night Elf. And we're not going to see a very early Crypt Fiends either. We should perhaps see like a handful of ghouls, maybe some Crypt Fiends, and then that slow tech to tier 2. Undead players pretty much have the most robust army in terms of how they build their units. They don't really change their strategies from race to race to race. You pretty much see the same collection of units just because they are so strong. However, they are strong, but they are unable to specialize, as we're now looking at the Archmage clearing up this Ogre Warrior creep camp. Ogre Warrior creep camp taken down pretty quickly. Gloves of Haste is dropped onto the ground, and we're going to see the Death Knight make his way inside the main base and quickly realize that his opponent isn't there. You cannot give a human player so much free time to freely creep. You're going to take a look at the Death Coil onto the Archmage, but the Archmage is just going to simply regenerate those hit points pretty quickly, as well as the Archmage now runs all the way back. Meanwhile, Scout Farm now trying to be built in the center portion of the map. It looks like it will be completed without any issue, as the Acolyte unable to take down that peasant. Archmage wants to get to level 3, wants to get Brilliance Aura, but is still getting harassed by a Death Knight and 2 skeletal minions. If the Archmage clears out this level 4 giant sea turtle, he will have no problem getting to level 4. The question is a Death Knight going to arrive to try and get that steal? Level 2 on the Archmage already, and now that steal doesn't mean nearly as much, as the Archmage is already getting a little bit of bonus mana. Footmen fighting against that Death Knight. Death Knight now retreating all the way back, as we're looking at the production of Crypt Fiends slowly being added, and a very fast tech to tier 2 while we're still sitting at 20/20 supply. Howl gonna finish off this giant sea turtle. Howl most likely sitting around 28 supply, or no, 30 supply now, but he is still yet to tech to tier 2, and he is suspecting Crypt Fiends. So with a quick tech to defend, he is going to be able to block a lot of some of the attack and much of the damage from those Crypt Fiends. The problem, though, is that we have a very fast tech to tier 2, and if we see Obsidian statues or perhaps even Destroyers much earlier than normal, or much earlier than we suspect, because of the delayed tech researching defend, and now the lane of getting to keep, Howl's not going to have any true counter to those Destroyers. Archmage going to go ahead and drop against a Forest Troll Warlord. Here you can see an Acolyte has made its way over. That Water Elemental has taken a whole bunch of damage, as the Footmen are now going to clear out the Troll Berserkers. That defend also working against the creep camps here, but a quick death coil makes sure that the Archmage is not going to get to level 3 easily. A second kill steal there, and we may even see a third. This is going to be bad news. All of a sudden, WFZ comes back in strong, getting in a bit of experience, and oh, come on, one more shot there. Yes, does get the shot, but the Death Knight is going to get the Tome of Strength, an additional +2 hit, or plus 50 hit points, +2 strength, as the units are now all running back. All right, the Crypt Fiends are still absorbing a bit of damage. The Death Knight wants to get off a Death Coil. Death Knight now gets to level 2, adds in Unholy Aura, making their army that much faster. Skeletal Minions perhaps could get taken down, as the Forest Troll Warlord down to 128 hit points, and it looks like it will go down. Scourge Bone Chimes being left behind for the Archmage, as the Archmage now gives Vampiric Aura to the rest of his units. A quick, or a not so quick expansion now coming in from Howl, and I am surprised by this. Going for the expansion at this stage in the game is not going to be that useful. It seems a little bit late for a fast expansion. It's not going to get up sometime until the 7-minute mark of this game. Meanwhile, we're already looking at Halls of the Dead, Slaughterhouse, Crypt Fiend. If we get Obsidian statues with Crypt Fiends, and the timing is just right, they can push in with that piercing damage against these scout towers well before those guard towers are upgraded. It's going to be a little bit of a close call here, as the Archmage does pick up Slippers of Agility. All right, Lich now out on the field. Archmage is in position as well. Guard towers being upgraded, so it looks like they will be able, or will be completed in time here, as the Archmage now trying to push back all of these units once more. All right, Crypt Fiends now joining in on the fight. Double Water Elementals all the way. Death Knight sitting in at level 2. And the fact that the Archmage has the hero advantage is going to make a very big difference. Also, the fact that the Footmen have Defend is going to make a big difference here. Even though I would have liked to see this expansion up a bit earlier, it looks like it's not going to matter. It will be completed with at least 2 guard towers and level 1 masonry upgrades. All right. Here comes the Black Citadel. There is the Destroyers, or sorry, excuse me, the Obsidian Statues, soon to be Destroyers, I gotta believe. Crypt Fiends trying to fight back here, but they need to be focusing down those Water Elementals more than trying to focus down the Footmen. The Footmen are simply too resilient to that damage, especially with Defend, where some of that damage ends up getting reflected back. Lich now pulling back once again. Are we going to see some damage here? Water Elementals trying to pierce down these Crypt Fiends, but the Crypt Fiends still chasing forward once again. Defend on Footman does make for a very, very slow moving target, and it looks like it could have been taken down. They're down to 18 hit points. One more shot would have done it, but no, not going to be enough. That Footman is down to 7 and going to stay alive. Meanwhile, here we have the Death Knight still seeing that level 2 Obsidian Statue now joining the fight here. And this is where things are going to get awfully tough. With that Obsidian Statue, these Crypt Fiends, and the small amounts of damage that the Footmen are able to do, 1 or 2 slashes at a time, are completely negated. Footman now trying to run away. Is it going to be able to get away? Down into the red again, down to sub 100 hit points, and it looks like it will get taken down. No, the Defend just in time, as we see a Death Coil on a Crypt Fiend for the save. Footmen still continuing that chase here. Meanwhile, we now see 3 very low hit point Footmen off to the north with no real healing underway. This has still been a big surprise here, as a second Obsidian Statue now joining in on the fight. Archmage now trying to run back. Is it going to get taken down? It looks like it could get taken down. The Archmage down to 45 hit points, down to 34. It looks like it will get slashed down. No, it does not look like it will get slashed down. One more shot should do it, and the Archmage is still running for the hills. Drops a Water Elemental, and wow, I'm not sure how that happened. How did the Death Knight not get the Archmage? That was a big mistake there, as the Death Knight has a Death Coil. Just use the Death Coil. No, does not use it in time, as we see now the Obsidian Statue taking a bit more damage here. All right, there is a Burrow. Obsidian Statue now trying to run for the hills. Footmen now making their way over as well. Footmen now going to get taken down slowly but surely. Obsidian Statue healing up the rest of the units, as we are looking at where is that Obsidian Statue. Is it still? Yes, it is still walking all the way back. A new Obsidian Statue there to take its place, and the Death Knight, who had a prime opportunity to take down the Archmage, will now have to deal with a nearly full hit point Archmage in a couple of seconds. All right, Damage trying to take down this arcane vault. Footmen are here. Defend, ready to go. Units are now backing off. Footmen not in defend mode. Going to take a lot of damage, and that's going to be a problem as the majority of this damage-dealing army is Crypt Fiends. Not quite sure why the footmen don't have defend here, or, well, these footmen don't have defend. Meanwhile, the front ones do, and they are now in for the chase. Crypt Fiends now looking to back off again. 46 over 50 supply compared to 38 over 54. The opportunity is ripe for the Undead to finish things off. Are we going to perhaps see another hero being added? Let's take a look at this. No, Destroyer now being added here, as the Destroyer could absorb some mana and now perhaps try and take down a couple of units. All right, there you go. The Destroyer does have mana and now going to make its way off to the north. All right, here you go. 2 Destroyers could deal a whole bunch of damage to these units. The Footmen with defend, and that is the problem. That splash damage, that magic damage. 1 Footman already down, and now we just have a couple of towers. All right, 1 guard tower going to quickly get taken down here. This Destroyer needs to get healed, does get healed, but the Death Knight only sitting at level 2, not able to heal all that much. Crypt Fiends now pushing forward again, and now we see the Lich at level 2. Obsidian Statue coming in from the back here. Water Elemental trying to take down the Obsidian Statue, and the Destroyers can just devour magic off of those Water Elementals, since there's 3 of them, and restore hit points pretty quickly and get a little bit more mana. This is just not looking good. Howling in pain here as the Destroyer is able to take down so many peasants, footmen, and so many other units as well. All right, there goes another Destroyer. Destroyer up in the air. Water Elemental getting taken down. 4 Destroyers here, looking to finish off the units. It looks like that splash damage is going to start to add up, and now that there are no more guard towers, I have to say that the Undead is most likely going to take this game. 4 Destroyers against an Archmage with Water Elementals. Even if you do have enough mana for a Water Elemental, it will quickly get taken down in a moment's notice by just a handful of Devours, actually replenishing the hit points of the Destroyers. All right, Howl down to 24 over 72 supply. ZDR playing calm and conservatively. Looks like he will be able to take this game here in just a moment. And what are these ghouls doing? Okay, just trying to harvest lumber on the other side of the map. Let's take a look back down over here. Town Hall now down to 800 some odd hit points. This will get taken out. Mountain King alongside the Archmage looking to clear up this creep camp. Runa the Watcher, and I can't tell what item that is. Claws of Attack +9, really not altogether that useful for that Mountain King, as that Mountain King really needs to get perhaps a potion of mana in order to just constantly launch Stormbolts. All right, Ogre Warrior will get taken down here. You can see the remaining base 33 over 60 compared to, I believe, 50 plus now. Yes, 66 over 70. ZDR can simply A-move with this army into the human base, even with Dragonhawk Riders. Without the animal war training, those Dragonhawk Riders simply do not have enough hit points to really fight back. All right, 1 Arcane Tower is all that stands between these 2 armies here. Crypt Fiends could get Web, and once Web is done, that will be the final nail in the coffin. All right, Guard Towers now getting pressured very, very heavily. You can see Dragonhawk Riders just trying to focus down a couple of those units, but it's not going to work. Web now being used, and there is the GG. ZDR taking the game pretty easily, even though the score doesn't tell it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.